Welcome everyone, thanks for joining us for this, our first volunteer workshop of the HFF 15 season. My name is Ben, I'm the festival director of the festival. I'd like to thank Mr. Matt Quinn and Theater Asylum Elephant for allowing us to use this wonderful space for this purpose. So all of you know you are, well not directly, but you're in a room where there are things being recorded. All right, you've all just assented to being recorded. So welcome. After this, there will be a mixer at the Three Clubs bar, which is also an HFF venue. That is literally right across the road. Hope to see you there. I believe we're happy hour pricing?
Happy hour pricing.
Happy hour pricing right now. So that's all I got in the way of introduction. Today, as I hope most of you know, the subject is finding a venue, working with venues, everything venue-oriented. It's a very, this is the first time we've done this particular workshop in the now 6-year history of the Hollywood Fringe Festival. Hope it's going to be really valuable to everyone here, as well as to everyone watching at home. They're going to do most of the talking. I'm just going to be calling on people and answering questions. So again, basic grade school rules. Please raise your hand, and I will call on you and then address either one or all of our distinguished panel there. So without further ado, I'd like to ask the venue panel to introduce themselves. We start on the very end.
Sure. My name is Michael Sante, and my venue is called Studio C Artists. We're right down next to the complex.
I'm Lauren Golston Salazar, and I'm the Actors Company. We're around Santa Monica and La Brea.
I'm David Svengali with Three Clubs, and like Ben said, we are right across the street.
Monica Martin with the Complex Theaters, right down the street.
Matthew Quinn with Theater Asylum and Elephant Space, right here.
Victoria Watson with the Lounge Theater, and we're at Santa Monica and El Centro.
Drew Chalou, and I am also with the Lounge.
And I believe Mr. Quinn has a little introductory comment
Yeah,
for us
got
all.
some intro. Thank you guys for coming out, and thank you all the venues. We've been getting together a few times. It's been great seeing everyone and talking about how to make this whole process and everything smoother for everyone. So to start with, I'm going to give some general things that we talked about, and then we're going to go through each one. Is going to give their spiel about their space, and then, as Ben said, we'll have time for questions and answers for the group. So to start, I just want to kind of get a sense of the crowd, as they would say. How many of you, is this their first Fringe ever?
Wow.
Okay. First Fringe. All right, good. This is a welcome. Absolutely. Nice. This is a good place to be. Nice.
And anybody not, okay, I couldn't tell, there was something.
Yeah.
That's the reverse.
That's the reverse. Who here has done a Fringe? Okay, and who here has done a Hollywood Fringe?
Dave, put your hand.
Okay, all right, cool. Dave, you're throwing the curve. How many of you have already created a project in the Hollywood Fringe? So you created an account and a project of your show. Okay, cool. And how many of you have applied to a venue? One of the many venues out there and contacted them. All right. And that's good. That gives us a little bit. Anything else you guys want to give you a little picture there? So we came up with some general notes for everyone, and feel free, I'll give the general and chime in if you'd like. Come prepared. And this is, I should preface this is notes from us for you when you're approaching us about a venue and all that. And general words of wisdom to kind of take throughout. Come prepared, check out our websites, both on the Fringe site and our individual sites. Come with questions. Think about all your show, how it relates to a Fringe atmosphere, and ask all those important questions. Be professional. And everybody advising the first video that's come out on the Fringe, Ezra Buzzington, the grandfather, godfather of the Fringe here, gave a wonderful speech about, it's Fringe, there's certain elements about Fringe, but professionalism needs to be there. And take a look at that, it's a great speech.
We call him the drunk electress.
The drunk. When you're in the process, let us know if you're looking around to different venues. If you are just want a specific venue, let us know that. but keep that in communication with us. We all, as I said, talk and meet and discuss groups and situations. So be upfront, don't be sneaky, it doesn't work. Let us know what you guys are thinking and let us know where you are when you finally get a venue. And if you've been in communication with us, just say, oh, I got a space at the complex. I'm a firm believer, and that's like everybody else, there's the right show for the right space, and we're all here to help you guys find the best space. All of us have pushed people to other venues as appropriate to their show. There are a lot of shows this year, up more than last year. So we want this experience to be great for you guys and us and Fringe. So that information communication really helps all of that.
Right, we're not really in, it might look like we're in competition with each other, but we're not really
Yeah.
like that, you know, we're not upset if a single show goes to there or to here, so we want a good
Yeah.
space for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So,
And to that too, be patient. And this is just a good, I mean, in an addendum to the, what's the main Fringe? Don't be a jerk.
Don't be a jerk.
Yeah.
Don't be a jerk, is be patient. A jerky person will not be patient. Be patient during this process, be patient during your texts, be patient during showtime with all the chaos. We're working as hard as we can to keep it smooth, and patience really helps. Somebody barking in our ear and all that doesn't help the situation. And again, we don't talk to each other. The one thing I put down there is set deadline. Now, when there's a deadline, we're going to expect things right away, and you guys should too. So be clear on your deadlines. They're all up on the Fringe site. We'll go through a little bit today, but be aware of those. As I mentioned, we're all working together, not only for this process and this meeting, but also for events throughout the Fringe process. One of these is open house, tech open house, which every venue can have on their own time. It will be again announced on everybody's venue. Fringe will have the times. We'll mention them today when we go through. This is an opportunity for you to come and see the space, meet the venue owner or TD, ask those questions, and start the process rolling. Right now, I'll say that Friday from 4 to 6 is set for several venues participating, and additional times will be posted. Following the venue open house is also drinks, as always, at 3 clubs right across the street. Last year we started preview parties, which was during the preview week, as groups have something after their shows, after techs. Fringe Central's not open at that point, and this gives kind of a social gatherings in each of the venues throughout that week. So more information will be coming out about specific days and party themes. But again, it's the venues working together to give you guys events to pass out your cards, meet each other. So more information will come about that. We also looked at sidewalk shows or talent traveling from one space to another, especially like street performing art type of shows that could know that these venues were cool as long as they checked in to perform outside in front of the lines, maybe to perform in a lobby, to have additional space to go to get in front of a different audience. So those venues we'll let you know, and we'll have a process for you guys to follow in regards to that. Also with that, we started last year 2 of the venues with trying to coordinate children's shows or family-friendly shows Sunday mornings. So shows that are children-friendly, looking for all of us to kind of plan scheduling and do some separate PR and boosting of that family children genre. And we'll be brainstorming, and in fact, if there's ideas maybe during the question and answer, if you guys have. The Fringe has so much to do in being responsible for all this, and there's a lot that us venues like this we're trying to do things to help everyone. So let us know of ideas, let each of the venue owners as you're talking to them, and I'll go into the process now, but the last thing I want to talk about, just in terms of us coming together and all that. This year we will be running the Encore Awards again. And this is the best of that follows the Fringe in July. And it'll most likely follow the similar path as last year, where each venue will pick shows for their venue to extend into July. So the groups will also let you know which venues are participating in that, as that's part of the equation. All right. So before I go through the speeches, I just wanted to quickly go through, from the venue's perspective and your perspective, the 3-step process of registering for Fringe. So first, and it looks like majority of you guys have done this, is create a project on the Fringe site. You create your account and a project. Just so you know, and this may not, for those who are about to do it, the project there is an approval process. So usually it happens within 12 hours, 24 depending, but there is, once you've created that project, there is an acceptance from Fringe, and you're all set with that. Once you have that project, you're going to start looking for a venue, which is the second step. The second step really has 2 parts to it. So the first part is contacting the venue. Most of us agree that email is the best way to contact us directly. So use that first to introduce yourself, let us know about your project.
And just to clarify, because they don't necessarily have your email address, contact you through the Fringe site.
So for those of you here, you can contact us through the Fringe site, where our email and phone number is there. We have cards outside for everybody here today. But yes, the email link on our websites, email link on the Fringe site, all that as a direct path to us to start the ball rolling. The first part is complete once you have a signed agreement from us. And to whatever level that agreement is, that you have specific dates or don't have specific dates, you have an agreement with the group, and you've made that deal with the venue. The second part of that is when an electronic deal is made between the venue and the project through the Fringe site. So this is the process where the venue will, through the Fringe site, create the deal, add all the dates and times, set up the ticketing basically, and then send that information to you to approve. Now once you approve, the venue knows that, but you won't show up on the Fringe site as a show in that venue until you pay registration. Now once you have approved the deal, you will get an email at that point that you can apply for registration and pay the $250. That has to be done before your tickets and everything would go up on the site. And the absolute deadline for that is April 1st in order to get into the Fringe Guide. So that's the 2-part step, the actual physical signing agreement and then the e-deal through the website. And then finally is the third part, as I mentioned, where you will get an email or website link to go to register.
Once the venue actually submits the deal and enters your performances into the system, you'll get an email saying, congratulations, click here to accept and register. The number one question, I was telling Matt before this, the number one question we get is, I don't see where on your site to register. And the answer to that question is, wait until a venue books you. You get an email saying you've been booked by a venue, and then you will be prompted to register.
Okay. Yeah.
Can I throw something?
Yeah, please.
Waiting until you get an email from us saying that you've been booked by a venue is definitely way too late to tell us that you're looking at somebody else. Just
It's all
it's
about the
happened,
timing.
and we really don't like it.
Okay, any other things with the process we can mention during your individual spiel? If you want to mention a little more for you, go for it. All right, so two kind of quick dictionary definitions or just information to explain, because it will come up during the individual spiels. Tech board op, stage manager, that staff person for the space. There will, with various slight variations, it will be groups, venues who will let you bring your own or suggest people for you to bring, or venues that will have you use their specific stage manager to do. And like I said, some variation between. So you'll hear that when groups talk about the stage manager, and they should give pricing and just paint a picture of what that tech element is. And the other is the booking process as it relates to getting slots. So you'll hear the term package, which is usually a package of around 5 shows, which is the Fringe sort of average. It's usually discounted, it's usually a variety of times, and there's a price associated with that. Then some groups also do slots, which will be prices per time slot, perhaps different for afternoon and evenings. Some groups will let you cherry pick, venues will let you cherry pick slots for a specific time. Some will gear you towards a more spread out Fringe model over the month of June. So you'll hear again those kind of different booking scheduling packages and slots. Is that good summation? All right. Well, let's jump into, we'll save questions, for the spiel. All right, are you guys ready? All right, so why don't you, do you want to start for? Yeah, they're doing it, yeah, there you go. Don't quote my prices.
I won't quote you. Alright, so again, I'm Victoria, I'm with the Lounge Theater. This is Jerusha, who is my Fringe manager, so more than likely, you know, our first point of contact may be between you and me, but then Jerusha will basically take over. We're at 6201 Santa Monica, which is right down here at the corner of El Centro. We're, I think no, we're not the last stop, no.
Oh, no.
No, then we keep going, because then Lawrence up, yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought that. We have 2 distinct spaces at the lounge. One is 46 seats, one is 49. One feels like a big cavern. It has lots of brickwork. It has more of an urban feel to it, and one is more of a traditional black box. So they're very different feels. And we always recommend that people, you know, come down and take a look and figure out which one sort of feels more like it's a fit for your show. Our prices range from $125 to $200, depending on your date and time. We work only in 2-hour blocks. So, you know, if your show is running, you know, if your show itself runs 2 hours, don't come to us. So we try and match everything up because the 2 spaces share a lobby. So we'll have 6 o'clock shows, 8 o'clock shows, 10 o'clock shows, etc. So when you rent a 2-hour block and your show is at 6, you get in at 5:30 and don't let the door hit your butt on the way out at 7:30. Of course, if you use less than that, great, kudos, it's not going to affect your price. Sorry. We do shows all week long. We do have some classes in the space that we basically bounce back and forth between spaces. So I can't say that every space is available every night, but there is at least one space available every night. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Never sure. We don't have one designated stage manager that you're required to use. We do have a list of names that we provide you for the space. People that already know the space, they know us, they know Fringe. So we strongly recommend that you use them, but we recognize the fact that, you know, sometimes you've already been working with a stage manager, and that's cool. Your stage manager just needs to go through a tech walk with us, but we do give you information on people you can hire. You had something in here for SM per space. Work that out. For booking, we don't, like Matt was saying, like a direct email or phone call to us is definitely better to get the process started. Don't just rely on, you know, submitting your project to us on the Fringe site, because we've already got a lot of repeat people from Fringe last year that we give priority for bookings. So definitely call or email us directly if you're anxious to get your calendar going. Any genre we're good for. The 2 theaters, by the way, are soundproofed between them, so we can totally have a musical in one and a solo show in the other, and you'll be fine. Special amenities, let's see. We do a lot of Facebook and Twitter coverage, of course, during Fringe. We also provide a e-blast. We have about 6,500 people on our email list, so we do send something out with all of our Fringe people included on it. And we also do large banners. So we do a large banner with everybody on it that faces Santa Monica, and posters and all sorts of fun stuff that's really got everybody equally represented on it. Is that everything? I think that's
That's
everything.
good. That's good. Awesome. All right, so Theater Asylum is actually 5 spaces. First of all, we're located right here on, we refer to as Santa Monica and Vine, 6320. We have 5 spaces ranging from 28 seats in the studio to 99 seats in the Lillian space, and then 40, 70, and 80 in the middle. The price range for individual slots, we offer kind of both. Individual slots is $65 to $325. So the range of spaces, $65 is for the studio, morning slot, and $325 for a Lillian evening slot. For the packages, which is 5 shows, the price range from $500 to $1,250. You are required to have insurance, either your own, or you can go ahead and get added to our rider for $150, which is good through July. We're open throughout the whole Fringe, preview week, some blockouts with some spaces, but primarily all the spaces running throughout. We do have a stage manager per space, so you'll be working with one in-house that will know the space and know all the shows there. We do allow certain exceptions with a training period and utilizing our stage manager in the process, so we're open to it. But our prime designation is having a stage manager per space. For booking process, it is that email call to start it out, and you will in all the processes, and I do like it when you get started sooner, is to apply to your project to the venue that you're looking for. You will eventually have to do it in order to get tickets activated and everything. So at some point it's good to do that, but to actually start the conversation, which gets the whole process and waves of shows going, email's great. We're open for all types of shows and Fringe-based shows. We do extend to 2-hour and full-length shows. They're rarer, I would say, just in Fringe in general, but we do allow for that. We work with a block of time with your need of show, so we have some flexibility. All of our information, and this remind at the end, all the information from the cards that you grab from the back. If you go to our website, there's a Fringe button, and it will give all the breakdown for all the spaces, all the sizes of everything there at the site. We do offer special potential co-pro deal, and this is for shouting out there for the video, for national and international shows. Every year, where we give them a few shows with a box office split. And if you are an international or national show, please let that be known when you contact us so we can discuss that. We do a lot, not only on the web, the social media, email blast, Facebook, Twitter. We do a lot with community within the space, especially to help the solo shows come together. We're looking to do some event workshop, get-together events for musicals as well, to get those communities together. This would be, I mean, even though we'd be starting and doing it, this would be something open to everyone. And I would add with all of this, I see these kind of events that the different venues could kind of work on and do to help the different community genres and styles like solos out there. We're also looking to hold a video lounge type of element here through another company similar to Lemon Lounge that happened previously. And it's something that, again, that all the venues are looking to do, really push the idea of comping all participants for all shows in the asylum and every venue, that we have agreement for the projects, because we really strongly feel, and I'm sure you do too, you want those sold out houses, you want those people there, especially in the early part of Fringe. We'll talk more about that in PR and all that, but we've seen too many times where seats were empty, and seats could have been full by participants either in your venue or one of the participating venue. Why not? If you're not kicking a paying customer out, let's do that thing. And finally, I just want to mention with our open houses on Friday, we're running, speaking of Fringe, a show that we extended from the Encores and Best of years ago called Pulp Shakespeare, which is actually running right now next door to us. It's a mashup of Pulp Fiction and Shakespeare. It's a fun show, and it's a real Fringe show, so it's great to see, and you get to see it in a Fringe venue. For Fridays, it's Fringe, $5 Fringe Fridays. So FFF on the Fringe site, or through our site, just also run by Ben Hill website. You can go ahead and get your ticket at $5, and the extra fee actually helps the Fringe too. So it's like win-win.
Yeah.
It really is.
It really is.
And then get a drink afterwards at 3 o'clock. It's great. You see shows, then you go get a drink, and then you see a show. All right. I've talked way too long. Oh, and also just give you an idea. I'm gonna keep. Last year, between the 5 spaces, we had 74. We had 74 shows. This year, we're probably going to go a little more, maybe 85, just to give you an idea of how many shows through that. And we're probably around. I've sent 12 agreements out. We've probably got 20 more in the pipeline. So just give you an idea where we're at.
So just a reminder, that whole be patient thing, 75 to 80 shows of you, one of Matt Quinn. Just saying.
Just thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Next time, graphics.
Yeah.
A pie chart.
A pie chart.
Me?
Your turn.
All right. I'm Monica. I am from the Complex Theaters. We're right down the street here on Santa Monica and Wilcox, 6476 through 6468, Santa Monica Boulevard. We have 6 spaces that we run. They range from our Shepherd Studio Theater, which has 25 to 30 seats. We'll let you put in a few more if you need them. It's a great solo show space. We also have 3 proscenium stages that are 48 to 55 seats on the ground floor. The Shepherd Studio's upstairs. Those are prosceniums. We have one smaller proscenium space with a built-in set. That's about 43 seats. And I would like to announce that that is usually called the 6470 Theater, but it will now be called Acme Theater or Acme Comedy Theater. I see Dan Kane there in the audience. We're very, very happy to have Acme moving into the building, and so that will be the name it's going to be flying under, but we will be doing Fringe shows in the space. We also have the Flight Theater upstairs. It's 46 seats. And the price ranges are from $75 an hour to $100 an hour. I don't limit you on the time, how much time you have. You tell me how much time you need. I let you pick what space and what time slots you would like, although I do try to help guide it just a little bit, because I'm not real big on that I want every night at 7 o'clock thing. I think that it's way better to mix it up, and you'll find that for you, you'll get a lot more audience that way as well. What else? That's why I brought the cheat sheet. Yeah. Oh, your insurance is included with that, so no worries there. And we usually run the spaces from Thursday through Sunday. I do have one space that I can run 24/7. So we can talk about that if you're interested in doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday nights, which I think are fantastic nights to do Fringe shows. I have one space that's available for that. But we also have 5 studios, and all the theaters run classes. So the reason I bring up the studios is because I also offer rehearsal packages. If you sign up for 20 hours of rehearsal time and pay for it up front, I will give you 10% off of your rehearsal package. The booking process, do the application and send me the email, and then call me during business hours, because I'm on the phone all day, and so I would rather talk to you and set up an appointment for you to come down, look at the space, and talk to me more about your show and what space would be the greatest for you to use. We do assign a stage manager to each space, and we do ask you to pay them $20 an hour for their services. They help you move in, they help you move out, they take all your lighting needs and sound needs down, they do the hang and focus with all of those needs in their minds, so they can best accommodate any show that comes in. What else? What else? Rehearsing. I don't care what you're doing. Any genre is good with me. I like to mix it up. So bring it on. Special amenities. Yeah, we do Facebook and Twitter and that sort of thing, all of that. The social media, I've got some volunteers coming in this year, interns, that will be there to help with house management and basic traffic direction because of all the spaces. We need someone out there telling people which theater they're looking for. They're going to be a great help, I think, in assisting everyone. If you have someone flake out on house management or something, they're great for that. We're going to put up big posters. We also have marquees that overhang the sidewalk, and you can get banners for those with your show logo and that sort of thing. And anything else? Oh, we booked 51 shows last year. It was 54, but then I had 3 people end up in the hospital. Be careful. It's a stressful time, you know. Drink your water and stay on the top. So I'm hoping to ramp it up a little this year, just because Matt Quinn and I have a very friendly little competition going on. So I'm trying to get mine up to 70. So come on down and all right. So same thing. One of me, many of you. If I don't get right back to you, it doesn't mean I don't love you. Just call me. Just call me. Call me. So that's me. Thanks.
We at the Fringe fully endorse this rivalry, by the way.
I think Lauren this year too, Lauren.
Yeah,
she's looking over there. Bring it up.
I only have 3 though.
Yeah.
Maybe. All right.
You're up.
Okay, again, I'm David with 3 Clubs Cocktail Lounge. We are right across the street, right behind this gas station here. Up Vine is 1123 North Vine Street. There's 2 spaces at 3 Clubs. The front bar is just a bar. The back bar has the performance area. We call it the cabaret stage. We can fit 60 to 70 people comfortably seated there, depending on the configuration of your show. If you actually come over there afterwards, I can show you what I'm talking about. Because part of the seating area can be used as part of your stage. It's a little detail, but I'll show you that when you come by. Our price range, it's basically $200 to $300 a show, which is a 2-hour block. And the way you get it is $200 is by booking a package of 5 shows, which would be $1,000 for 5 shows. You book that by March 1st, it's $1,000. After March 1st, it's $1,500 for that. So it's a little bit of a price break to get it in quicker, you know. Insurance. Club does have its own insurance. We do not require you to have separate insurance. We strongly encourage it. Right now that's the case. That might be changing soon where we need people to get insurance. But I haven't heard anything about that yet. So right now you don't have to get your own insurance. Days available. We can book pretty much any day of the week from like 2 o'clock until about 10 o'clock or so. There are some late night slots available if people really want like a 10 o'clock or a midnight slot. We basically, the bar has some regular nightly programming that you know, we make a good deal of money by having bands in there and DJs and stuff, especially on like a Friday or Saturday night. If you want to do a show at 11 o'clock on a Friday or Saturday night, good luck. Because there's a day with a ton of people in there. So, but if you got the right show that you say, okay, I get 100 people per show, sure, let's talk. And Monday nights, there's always a burlesque thing. So Monday night is the one day of the week that we know that we're not going to be booking stuff so much right that. Stage manager tech process, we assign the tech people to you. We have at least 3 people, if not 4, that are very good at what they do. They have to do it because we have very, very expensive equipment in there. We have full bands that come in there, so yeah. You do get 5 hours of tech time free in the contract, of which we pay for half of that with the tech person. So you know, if you can split it up into 2 blocks, like 2.5 hours here, 2.5 hours here. So just rehearse by yourselves for 2.5 hours, and then the other 2.5 hours we'll provide the tech for you to do the Q to Q and that kind of thing. Booking process, again, just like everyone else is saying, you know, call me, email me, that's fine. You know, you can apply through the Fringe website, but then I have to go to the club, which sends me a forwarding thing, which is a little bit of a thing. So I prefer if you just email me directly. Show genre we're looking for. We don't have a specific kind of show that we're looking for. We do want to look for shows that are, or companies I should say, that are a little bit more established. If this is your first brand new Fringe, I would probably recommend doing something in a slightly smaller space. Because this is, 60, 70 seats can seem, 20 people in that can seem a little cavernous, whereas someplace like the lab here, for example, it's selling out, So we're definitely looking for people that have either done a couple shows before, people that, you got your marketing machine ready to go, you've produced shows possibly outside of Fringe, but you're looking to bring that show to Fringe. We definitely want to talk to shows like that. National, international, we have no preference whether or not, if you're international or not, but we'd certainly welcome that kind of thing. Amenities, we always do a drink special tailored to your show that gets advertised at the bar, even when there's not anything like shows going on. There's still people hanging out there drinking, so we have drink specials for you. And then we're also doing a menu that'll be on all the tables that'll have every show's flyer in there. So people that are just coming by that don't even know about the Fringe can just go by there for a drink and say, what's this thing? Oh, look at all the shows that are going on here. Let's check one of these out, And then we always do a mural in front of the bar. I've got pictures of that if you want to see that. And then there's a whole back smoking patio that we can hang up posters back there and that sort of thing. Number of shows we booked last year. Last year we had 14 shows, I believe. This year, we're not looking for a specific number of shows. If we have exclusively 5-hour block shows, we have place for 15.6 shows. So 15 shows, and some of them might want to add, or a 6th or a 7th or whatever, we can do that. And I forgot to say, after March 1st, that's when we are able to start talking to people about booking one-offs. If you want to just do a single show or 2 shows, 3 shows would be $900, so you may as well just book by March 1st and pay the extra $100 and get 5 shows. That's what I have to say. So I think that's it. And everyone's welcome after this to come by and check the space out and have a drink. And I'm done.
You done?
Yep.
Okay. Hi, I'm Lauren with the Actors Company. We're located 916 North Formosa Avenue, so we're on the western part of the Fringe. We're kind of behind the Target Mall, that area, down Formosa from Formosa Cafe. It's a newly built space. It's only about 3.5 years old, so it looks good. And we are, the building is surrounded by a parking lot, so we have 40 parking spots with our space. There's also the Target Mall behind us, so there's like another 1,000 parking spaces behind us. So parking is a non-issue. We also have a lot of nice restaurants and bars in the neighborhood as well, within walking distance. So a lot of times people, just meet and then go off and, celebrate with your friends afterwards. The neighborhood's very safe, residential neighborhood. Let's see. We have, for anybody who's screening anything, we have a movie theater quality projection system in the space. I run film festivals, so I have to have it, and you get to benefit from that. We do provide box office management and concession services. Because we have 3 spaces, it's very chaotic if we didn't. We will take your list from you at the start of your show with your pre-sold and whatever instructions you want to give us about it, and then at the end of your performance, we will give you that. You do need to have a house manager in front of each space so that they can collect the tickets that we give them. And the tickets is a way of keeping inventory as well. Let's see. Stage management, we provide the stage managers in 2 of the spaces. The 3rd space doesn't need stage management. Social media, we do send out blasts to our base. We have 20,000 on our list, so they'll hear about it. And if you're offering any specials within your shows, we can also do a blast about that too. We border West Hollywood. We're in a unique position. At the same time that this festival goes on is the One City, One Pride, which is the gay Pride Festival. And we've been sanctioned by them to be a space for them as well. Now here's the thing, is they give out a lot of money to people, so you can apply for funds. Last year, one show got $2,500, and that was like the minimal amount that they gave out. They're very anxious to have shows that have any kind of a gay subject matter or gay characters in it to apply to them so that they can give you money so that you can do shows in my space. So if you know, or if you want to change the show that you're planning on doing to you may want to do that. And I can provide that information for you if you email me as to who to be in touch with. But they're very anxious to have it. And I think their only requirement, they run 4 weeks, and 1 week is like focused on art, one's on music, one's on film, one's on theater. The only requirement is that one of your performances has to fall on the theater week. So it's very minimal, what they need. We do 5 show packages primarily. We have an 80-seat theater, and it's $750 for the 5 show package. It's a fully equipped theater. It does have a stage manager that you have to pay. Stage managers are $30 a performance. I'm quoting you the 1 hour show price. That's 60 minutes of performance time price. We have a 55 seat, which is $700. It's I'm sorry, on the background. The 80 seat is a proscenium style theater. 2 dressing rooms. The dressing rooms can hold about 22 people or so. Then the 55 seat is a contemporary. Everything moves in it, so you can do in the round, thrust. You can configure it how you need it to configure. It's just a big 2,500 square foot space. But it is set up with 55 chairs and some platforms, but all of it does move if you need it. And then we have a 22-seater, which is $300 for the 5 show package. That does not have sound in it. It has for lights just on dimmer. It's great for like if you have a 1-person show and a low budget and you just want to kind of workshop it, or classroom. You know, if you have some kind of workshop, it'd be a great space for that. Booking process. So you contact us by email. We'll set up a time for you to come in for a tour. Staff is always there from 10 to 7 on Monday through Fridays, but we do like to have appointments because it's a busy space and we have a lot of stuff going on. So we want to make sure that all the spaces are accessible for you to look at. So make the appointment, and then we'll be happy to take you around through the theaters. If you decide that we are the one for you, we would sign a contract with you, get a deposit and insurance. The insurance is $150 and that insurance will take you through the end of the year. So if you decided to come back later in the year and you just want to do a one-off, you already have your insurance in place. So that's that. And then by March 6th, the balance and the stage manager fee is due. Late March, we will give out the schedule or when the spaces are booked completely. We do this so that everybody has a fair and equitable schedule. You'll look at everybody's schedule and say, oh, they have as good a schedule as I have. So that's why we do that. It's more festival style. And then last year we did 25 shows. We have room for about 40. And let's see, we are doing the Encore Awards. And we have a brochure. If you email us, we can email you our emailable brochure and give you started and see if it is the right space for you or one that you're curious about and want to take a look at. So I think that's it for me.
Cool. My name is Michael, and our space is called Studio C Artists. We're at 6448 Santa Monica in between Wilcox and Cole. We have a very, very simple setup, very, very simple space that works best for 1-person shows. It's a simple black box space. We put up our own productions for our acting clients. We have an acting school there. We like to participate in Fringe. It is set up with raised seating and basically looks like a theater, black box theater setup. We have 34 seats. We have a really wide aisle in the middle, so you actually can fit probably 6 chairs in the middle. We've done that before, and so you can max out at 40 seats if you need it. It's very simple setup. It's very intimate space. We're described as homey a lot of times. So, And funnily enough, last year we did have 2 of the shows came in with the same acting troupe, and they did Shakespeare improv, and they had casts of 20. So we can handle it if you have a larger cast, but I would say the space sort of lends itself more to something smaller, intimate, one-person show type of thing. Our rates are simple. It's $75 an hour. We charge, we supply a stage manager. Because we're small enough, the stage manager is the house person, the box office person, etc. They're just there to help run your show, however is needed. We charge $25 for that. There's a 1-hour tech, and we only charge for to pay the tech person for that. And otherwise, the $75 an hour, we can accommodate any, size or length show, I guess in other words. And so I just do a 15-minute load in and load out, and we let people cherry pick the slots. So I do have some slots that are already filled. I have 2 shows in there, and 1 show took 10 slots. So, but we still do have plenty of availability still. Any genre really, if you're a musical or something really loud, we have, in fact, part of this group is, there's a real retail space next door to us. So we just sort of like play nice and we clear things that are like that. We had somebody come to us last year and wanted to do a trapeze thing in our space. That won't work. So it needs to be something. Did you have? Yeah. I don't know did they end up anywhere?
Anybody?
They went to like bolt into the ceiling and stuff, and I was like, no way.
Yeah,
It was the insurance.
Was it just area?
No,
it's a trapeze.
It was it was like a bungee cord trapeze kind of thing. So it sounded interesting. It just wasn't for our space. But otherwise, any genre, anything like that. I think that's it.
Okay. All right.
Can I
I was just gonna say, do any of us have anything to add? Yeah. We all have something to add.
Do you want to go first?
Sure.
Back
We're all genre. We happen to have a lot of musicals for some reason. We've been booking musicals like crazy. And that's the fun of Fringe. You never know what you're going to get till you get it. So.
After hearing other people, I should mention a couple of other things. We do have parking in 3 clubs, limited depending on the day of the show especially. And then we do assign the slots to people, like you were talking about, everyone's getting a fair slot, but a couple evenings, a couple afternoons, a matinee or a late night show, depending on what you're asking for. Basically what we need is, if you book 5 slots, you would send us 10 or 12 requests for slots and specific times that you cannot do stuff, and we'll try to accommodate all that stuff. So we can put a 30-minute cushion before the show and 30-minute after for load in and load out, that kind of thing. We do social media, and then shows also pay $25 an hour for the tech people when they're doing the shows. So it would be $50 a show if you're doing a 2-hour thing. If you're doing a 3-hour thing, which we do have space, when we assign slots, we can accommodate longer shows. So you just need to book extra time. So that's it for me. Yeah.
Okay, I forgot to mention that your tech is also free with us. That we do have a big community meeting where I get everyone together. They named themselves the Complexians last year. I know, it's so sweet.
Yes. We're the inmates.
You're the inmates, see? We have
The lounger.
Oh, see? And so I think next will be softball teams, but we've got
Frisbee football.
something. But we get together so that people can start mingling and looking for other people who have similar shows or just in the same space so everyone can do cross promotion. I'm a really big fan of that, and they all had a great time doing that last year. And most of the people at the complex did give free participant tickets to people in the complex. It was something they all did, and I think it really helped, especially preview week, because you can kind of pack it and get your feet wet and then dive in. No, it's probably, or it doesn't matter. We do the encores. We definitely do. We want you to come back in July, so look for more news on that. And one thing also is when I ask, and I'm sure it's the same with everyone, like when I say, so tell me about your show, what's up with your show? Mention things like we're going to smoke or light a fire. Or rub wet paint on our bodies.
Or have fisting, yes.
Or yeah. Let us know what you're doing, because I would much rather know beforehand and find ways to make it work in the space than come to see your show and want to jump on stage and
Stop it, yeah.
why are you doing that on my thing? It's just so much better just to know, because I guarantee anything you want to do, we could pretty much make work, you know, but we need to know about it. And then we can keep it, you know, safety. You're not going to be charged more because something's been destroyed because you weren't thinking about how the paint would stain the curtains and we'd have to have them cleaned, that kind of thing. So just be honest with your spaces. Let them know what's going on.
Yeah. Just full disclosure on both sides. We're not going to surprise you, or try not to surprise you at all, so don't surprise us.
Yeah.
Should I mention?
Oh, please.
Oh, dude, yeah.
sure.
Last year, I have to mention. Okay, last year.
Do you?
Yeah. Please, I do. Because this gets into a legality thing.
Sure.
Okay, so I had a producer that booked space at 3 clubs last year that she contacted me 2 or 3 days before the show and asked if they could do a live fisting demonstration on stage, which is illegal. Not just, you know, frowned upon. No, this is illegal, and it's a bar, and we'll get shut down in a second. So thank God she called me. Otherwise, Vice Squad could have been there.
We're not saying that's not art.
You're not saying it's not Fringe. It's Fringe.
But full disclosure is great, you know.
So for,
Yeah.
I mean, as for instance, if he had known that like beforehand, then maybe like he could have talked to me. I wouldn't be. I could have. I'm not a bar,
Yeah.
Right.
so I could have taken it.
So FYI, all fisting shows are now
But not before 10 p.m.
And please don't listen to his family friends.
Not Sunday morning.
Street performance.
All right, well, that wonderful note. Along with the stage manager, we do have an on-staff TD, Aaron Lyons, who's a Fringe veteran and master.
Currently
He's
on
here.
stage.
Currently on stage, actually just got off Pulp. And we also have a house manager that helps out. We hope to have a nice little army of interns too.
Oh yeah,
Why not?
an army.
An army. We do have projectors in all this space for additional fee of $50 for the run. And to go with something that Monica mentioned, and in general, our slots are usually an hour show with a 15-minute setup and strike, but we can be flexible with that. But it is quick in, quick up, quick down, and we do look for. Or I guess I should say, I specifically in terms of shows and sizes with that, I often talk about the downsizing of shows in terms of fitting a show in a space that can fit in that space, but have the smallest house so that you can really go for a sold out show. Really don't think about that largest 99-seat Lillian, which is a beautiful space. I really try to push groups. It's nothing personal to go to the smaller spaces. It's just to have that great Fringe experience with all your shows. I also just wanted to add at the end that we are going to have all the spaces available right after this. So before your drinks, I'll probably be running around a bit. So all the doors will be open. Everything should be cleared out. If it's not, it will be locked. And feel free to go through. Grab a card, talk to me later if you want to talk, but this gives you a chance to kind of see the spaces. And then I will be going out for drinks afterwards too.
Okay, you want me to do it? Okay, Drew's just.
Okay, so we also require insurance at the lounge. You can bring your own, or it's $150 to jump on our rider, and that's good through the end of the year. We also provide concessions and a concessionaire and a house manager, so there will be lounge staff on hand to handle, because we have spaces sharing the lobby, the overlap. Sometimes our staff will help facilitate transitions between shows. We booked 26 shows last year. We're already up to about 18. So come talk to me or Victoria after. Quickly. We do provide 2 hours of free tech with your contracts. And we do have a projector and screen that you can rent for a one-time $25 fee for the run of Fringe. And we are also participating in the Encores this year.
Yes. Oh, but do note, projector screen, they're hung in a centralized location for everybody. So if you don't like it, I'm sorry, you haven't provide your own. And of course, rep plot, on the lights, but we make sure that the rep plot is done by a lighting designer, so it will give you what you need, I promise you.
Q&A?
Ben, Q&A?
All right. Now is the time you get to ask your questions. So basically, please raise your hand. Please stand up, proclaim proudly your name and the name of your show, and ask your question either to an individual or to the group. So who has a question? I'll start over there. First hand is.
Hi, my name is Andrew, and I'm doing the Three Musketeers Clowns with Swords. I have two questions. One is, you said cherry picking the show. There's kind of a common term, and I'm new to the Fringe. I'm not really sure what that term means. Can you briefly explain that real quick?
Sure, there's a, well, is there a,
Sure,
okay,
go ahead.
alright, tell me if I screw this up. So, there's basically a difference, what we do and what Matt does to a certain extent, and Monica, is that basically you tell us what your dream schedule is. You're like, here's what I'd really like my schedule to look like, and then we match it up as best we can with what's currently available. And versus there's the more traditional festival options which Lauren and David do, where everybody goes in the same pool and then they divide once the spaces are full and make sure that everybody gets like a fair and equitable, sort of grouping of shows. And schedule.
We do take conflicts into, you can give us your
Conflicts in the press.
There you go.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
So, and one isn't better than the other. It's just sort of how the venue is deciding how they want to run their space. So we don't intend for cherry pick to sound like it's necessarily better or anything like that. It's just two different options of organizing it.
Well, I would add though, the cherry pick, like Michael, some spaces, and Hudson does this with the Guild, you can go in and say, I want Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 8 p.m.
We're first come, first serve.
Yeah.
So like, once the slot's filled, it's filled, and then, so I can
Yeah.
just show you what I have available when you come.
Yeah.
And you can grab whatever's open.
Yeah.
The,
And in
the
general-
cherry pick shows probably are better if you get in early. If you're
Right.
in later, you're gonna be
Right, exactly.
problematic.
Yeah.
whereas
Because
we're
all
gonna
the
be
good slots will be
equally
taken.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, in general, nobody here really will let you book every Friday at 8 o'clock.
Right.
They just
right.
won't let you.
Yeah, and it's not good for
Not a
your
good idea
mentality.
for you, yeah.
Yeah.
You want to spread it out across, like
Right.
we've all mentioned in our ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the shows that sell out the most are surprisingly the 10 o'clock Sunday morning and the late
Yeah.
night, because everybody who's doing shows couldn't go to see those shows,
Yeah.
for one
Yeah.
thing, and sometimes it just works out
We
better.
have a discount slot that worked out great last year. We have Wednesdays at noon. We call them Hump Day Nooners. And if your show works for a Wednesday at lunch, performance. Last year we did it for free because it was an experiment. This year it's actually our lowest price. We'll do it for $100. But it worked great. The two shows that did it had fantastic audiences.
That's great.
Yeah, great. And my second question is because we're still kind of devising everything, and we just kind of need to know, like, the sense of timeline of when we actually need to get deposits in and get a venue booking, because it's our first time. We really don't know, like, what the time sensitivity is of getting the venue.
I think each venue is gonna have their own schedule for
But I think April
payments and
1st.
stuff.
April 1st?
Yeah.
That's
April
the
1st for
guide. You
registration.
wanna be in the
Yeah.
guide.
Okay, you want to be full
You
of
wanna-
But I
be
would
in
say
the-
with the space building up, I mean, I think most of us have a lock-in deposit or the full amount. That's what locks you into a venue,
Right.
which
right.
you want to do way before April 1st.
Right,
That you're going
right.
to want now, but for
Right.
being locked in, like they said, for the guide and the final, that's by April 1st.
Right, okay, great, thank you.
Yeah,
And,
that's a
and,
deadline you
and,
don't
and
wanna
on
miss.
top of that, I would say that, like I just said, each venue is gonna have their own kind of payment structure, how they want you to split it up. Some people want everything up front, some people will split it out, But as a general request from the venues, just please try to stick to your payment schedule and don't make us find you. Say, hey, you had a payment due yesterday, like,
Right.
let us know.
Yeah.
I'm planning, okay, I can't do it today, but I will get it to you tomorrow. That's great. That will work with most people, but just keep in contact with us, especially as far as money's concerned, so.
Mhm.
Great.
Yeah.
Yes, working away. Household.
Okay, hi, I'm Erin Carrera. My show is Stand Upera. And I have a question about 5 shows versus other numbers of shows. So 5 is ideal, why? And is that the number for reviewers and stuff like that? The number of show question.
What I've noticed since in the last 5 years, as it's grown, is that I think that at first there wasn't really an average, of course, because then it was just starting out.
Right.
And then it became 5 shows, I think, because the Fringe was only running for 2 weeks. So 5 was a really good number to do in 2 weeks. Then they expanded to 3 weeks, and 5 still worked. Now, with it being the preview in 3 weeks, right? So really, you could be doing shows for 4 weekends. It seems that 5 is a good number. You're going to be able to at least span all the weekends. But if you want to do more, there's nothing wrong with that. It just means it's all according to your budget
Right.
and what you can handle and what you think you can draw to make it, worth your while and worth your budget. If it doesn't matter and you're just like, I'm gonna do 8 and
Right.
hope it works, then it works,
Right.
But I think that that's kind of how the 5 show average kind of grew into being.
Is it the
that-
actual
yeah?
average? Is it, do you know statistically?
Yeah.
Yeah, it really
Is it $12 ticket price?
That I've actually
That's
done
an
numbers
average.
on, yeah.
But it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I kind of feel like that's the way that grew.
With us, you can also purchase 2 packages or
Yeah.
3 packages, or you
Yeah.
can
Or
get the
slots.
5 show
And
plus
we'll
pick
let
up
you
some
add
more.
on. If you
Yeah.
want to add on later, you can add on.
Or if you just want to add a press week show,
Right.
preview show.
But add on before April 1st.
I'll just
Yes.
add, tack on to what Monica's saying. Last year, those 2 Shakespeare shows that I mentioned, they only did 2 each. And I think they were bummed that they only did that at the end of the day. Because what they found, they had people at them, but they had a cool concept and a cool setup, and people walked out and would talk about it, and then they didn't have anything else lined up, and they actually, I think, could have gotten more audience in for other shows had they just thrown a couple more in.
Right.
So I choose kind of not a lot.
Yeah.
I mentioned this at the town hall too. There's a strategy, and I think this is where you were going with this. There's a strategy in spreading your performances across the duration of the Fringe. You have a preview, the right people see it. You have a first show, some more right people see it, and then there's talk, and then there's talk, and by the end, you're selling out every show.
Right.
Now, the terrible alternative to that is that you have all your shows in the first weekend. It doesn't catch on until that last show, and they're like, oh, we really want to see your show. When's the next show? And I'm like, oh, no. Then you're scampering, you're trying to schedule additional performances, something in the back. If you're local and you can like do it, we'd suggest to try to have a strategy where your performances are spread out as possible.
Right. My other question to that is, I do believe some reviewers in town have a minimum show run to come see your show and review it. Is that true? I feel like I was in a show last year and we only did 4 performances, and a friend of a friend was a reviewer with LA Times, and he said, oh, I won't come unless it's at least this many shows. Do you guys know that?
Yeah, Fringe is a little bit different.
It's
though.
a
The
little
rules are
different.
It might have to
different.
do with the time span between the first
Yeah.
and the last show,
Okay.
rather than the number of shows. Because the point of reviewers that I come to realize is they're not looking to necessarily better your show.
Right.
They're looking for a good story for their readers.
Right.
So if their readers get the story the day that your last show is, well, that's not going to help anyone.
Okay.
Because the readers want to see a good show. So
Okay.
especially like with spreading it out and doing a preview show that the reviewer comes to see, and then you're doing your last show the day before, the 27th of June, right before the Fringe is over.
I
Then
see.
the readers can get a chance to go see your show,
Okay.
which is going to get more viewers possibly interested in coming.
And then when we buy, let's say one buys a package, a company buys a package, then the preview week is something you arrange with per venue. Not, okay.
My
Well,
experience.
preview week is set.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
and my experience is that they come and they sit in our theater and they see all 6 shows that day.
Oh, I see.
And
Okay.
that's been my experience. Or
Okay.
because we have several, they just bounce between the
Mhm.
theaters.
Right.
Mhm.
They kind of are like assigned to the venue.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Working our way this way, let's stick in the front row. We'll go, you are next.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Hinkler, and I'm doing a 2-woman show with my twin sister called My Sister. And I understand that in this great community there is a little competition going on, but
No,
so
not really.
I'm
There
so my question is, if I want to advertise like at the Hudson Theater, even though I already booked a different venue. Am I able to do that, or is it just stick to your own venue for this?
One of the things, good question in terms of the venues, in terms of advertising or sending postcards. We have every year worked to get us all together to kind of come up with standards or agreements on, we'll accept postcards from all other venues or letting groups chill in front of the theater. It's going to be a venue by venue thing. We did talk at our last meeting about easy postcard racks, shoe racks, that would be in front of all venues that would allow multiple shows from other venues to put it up there. We haven't firmed that up, but those are the kind of things that we're looking to do. We'll let you know that as we get closer to Fringe, and again, it's check in with the venue. So
It's
like
more
even
of a
after all
space
that.
issue,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Because how many shows were there last year, Ben?
Yeah, close to 3.
Right.
Close to 300 shows. I don't have the room to put 300 postcards
Right.
in there, you know, so.
So it's not a
It,
moral
it,
objection.
it does come first with the venue and then what space is
Okay, thank you.
Ask for permission, not forgiveness.
Right.
Yes. Oh, sure. And then you. That's I think I promised her next, and then you will absolutely be next.
Hi, I'm Rara with Brazen Beauty's Variety Show, and my question is, like, when we make our Fringe page and we start applying to the different theaters, how much information do you want on that? Because right now we're like in the just beginning stages. We don't have a group photo yet. We don't even quite have a name for the show yet. I mean, we just have like the idea of what we want. So like, what are you guys looking for as like a first timers?
As for me, I can't speak for everyone, but it doesn't really matter. Just let me know that you're interested in looking at the spaces.
Okay.
Some idea of how long you think your show's going to be helps.
Mm-hmm.
Some idea of what you're going to be doing on stage. Again, if you're gonna have a swimming pool or
live music.
how
many slots you're thinking about
tap
booking?
dancers.
Yeah.
I'd like to know about tap dancers. But that's it, really. I mean, there's time for you to develop what you need to develop.
Okay.
Yeah.
That there's time for that now. Now it's just about securing the space so you know once it's developed you can do it there.
Okay.
And I don't think any of us are judging a show based
No.
on the content you have on
No,
or
there's,
something like that, so.
seriously, it's, you guys are creating the art, we're helping to provide the space for you to do it in. So, none of us are, I don't think, doing any kind of genre specific.
I would add to that though, and this isn't going out to national, international shows and all that, and for co-pro for that, I would be interested in hearing what were your stars on, if you did an Edinburgh show or stuff like that. If you have things
Sure.
that are important that may be lean, I think that's good to let us know. But if you're in the we love the developmental element of shows too, so we understand that you are working the show. And if you don't have the title yet or some tech questions, I understand that. As long as you're aware of our limitations or our boundaries of the tech needs. Telephone number, email, so we can get back to you.
Oh, one of the, how many performances you have in mind is helpful.
exactly.
Okay.
Like if you're like, I want 10 shows,
Right.
it's important to know that
Yeah.
off the bat.
And then just one other question, because I'm in my troupe, I'm like an aerialist, and you guys were talking about no trapeze, but I just like an overview so we have something to, like when I'm
We
contacting
have an
theaters.
aerial rig.
You do, okay, and like but I'm just wondering, and then like would I have to like supply my own insurance on top of the theater insurance? Okay, that's all I got.
But it's always a good idea.
Yeah,
Most spaces, if they already have insurance, like it covers whatever's in the space before you show up. So if you bring in a miniature guillotine and it chops off someone's hand, that doesn't
Yeah.
get covered by the insurance. So
Don't
if
bring
you bring the guillotine show,
Yes, sir.
Hi, it's Ramon. My show's called The Red Moon. It's a new show. I haven't created a project yet. I'm still learning about how you guys do this. I did a show at the New York Fringe Festival 4 years ago, but I wrote the script and the other people were doing the producing. So I was gonna the lady in the green shirt. I'm sorry, I don't know which theater.
Lauren Actors Company?
Actors Company, right. You said you do a lot of musicals, but
Yes.
how long is the time slot?
It depends on how long you need.
Okay,
You know, it starts at an hour, hour and a half, 2 hour.
okay, 'cause I think,
Yeah, so it's
the
what
question was
you
about
need.
2 hours, so
So you
I
would,
guess I'd have to cut it a little bit so there'd be time to go in and go out.
yeah, probably. Or you, I mean, you could do a 2.5 hour slot, I guess, if that's what you really wanted to do.
Okay.
But
And,
yeah, we do have a lot of musicals.
I just had a general question, you know, because I'm new to producing it this way. I don't have a marketing machine and people to help me and everything like that, so I'm already feeling like it's too late for me to do anything or go anywhere, so.
Oh, well,
no.
God bless you.
Now?
For feeling that way.
Not too late at all.
Yeah. It's not too late at all. You're doing just fine.
Yeah.
There's some marketing that happens just because you're in Fringe. And,
Yeah.
and I, you know, Ben didn't pay me to say this, but I truly recommend taking an ad out in the guide.
Absolutely.
Because that is like, people, you got 300 shows in tiny little font. At some point, people are just looking at the pictures and deciding what shows. That guide becomes everyone's Bible.
Mhm.
The ones that want to see 20 shows, they will circle, and they'll circle the pictures, or, you know,
The
they.
highlighter, yeah.
And you'll be also categorized like musical, and so if somebody has an interest in musical, there's a certain amount of publicity that's gonna come to you just because you are in Fringe. And then, but you can't just rest on that either.
Did you tweet that thing about the ads? About Okay. Oh, who's had their hand up the longest? Oh, there.
Up there.
There we go.
She's
There we
up
go.
My name's Rainey. I don't have a project name yet, but my question is, and except for Lauren, is there any other space that has movable platforms to do non-conformist seating? Or do you know of any other space?
Or would the rehearsal space be willing to let us do a performance there and set up seating the way that we would want?
To set up seating in a rehearsal space?
Well, like, do that as a performance space instead of a rehearsal space, because I don't know what she wants with her space, but I need 18 chairs in the center where the audience will be, and then the actors rotate around them.
You know what, honestly, I don't think our spaces are good for that.
That's.
We have fixed space, fixed seating, rigged fixed seating, and I don't think the stage spaces are big enough to really, you could come and see, if you think it would be big enough for you, but I wouldn't wanna cramp you
For a rehearsal space?
into, I can't use the rehearsal spaces for performance spaces because they are not, zoned for performance. So I can't do it, and they wouldn't be big enough for what you're thinking anyway.
Within your building, you're not zoned?
Only one
No,
part.
no, they're
Oh,
not,
oh,
you have to have
oh,
two
performance,
entrances.
right.
Got it.
You have to have two entrances for performance, and also they're fixed seating, they're all set up like this. All my rehearsal spaces look like this,
Does anyone know of a venue?
I was gonna say 3 Clubs actually does technically have that capability. Depends on the show, but I have seen shows there that, you know, the bar is the stage. And so the bar has, and the actual stage has seating all over it facing the bar and that kind of thing. So, and the rest of the seating is just chairs like this. And there is a big bench around the edge, but it is technically possible. So come by after this
and almost like platforms, actually.
Yeah.
Because the seating
Yeah.
then becomes.
Yeah, so you might wanna check this out and maybe that would work out.
I was gonna say, in the lab, we've had several shows, the seating is movable, and they actually strike it out of there, and then you can use those platforms as the stage and then the stage area. I would also say the Lillian space has a large space on it. You could have 10 chairs up there, or what you were kind of talking about. It may work for you. You may want to take a look at it.
Do you have chairs in?
There are. That's what we want to check, is how many chairs you would need. We have a certain amount of folding chairs and all that, so that would be one of the questions. I will add too, the Lillian space, along with Lauren, we're actively looking for musicals in particular for that space. It's a really large space and very flexible for musicals and other things.
Dave, do you know any other spaces in Fringe that have just, you can move the chairs around however you like?
Is the note?
Theater of Note, kind of?
Well, I mean, they have
That's
kind of fixed seating, right?
Yeah, they do.
And that stage is pretty small.
You should
Yeah.
come by, we move, everything moves, you know, the
That's so
platforms,
cool.
the, everything
Great.
It
moves,
seems
so
like
it's
such a
very
large
easy.
space when I can only have
What?
18. It seems like such a large space when I can only have 18 audience members at a time with my piece.
What
Well,
about,
well, you could just
The smaller space,
Whatever you wanna
though,
use.
Lauren, the
That
small-
doesn't move, that's all fixed
Oh, it's
either.
all fixed.
And this is what I'll say as
should
well,
take a
is
look
that
at
if
it.
you can find another non-traditional found space, like we're blessed with wonderful venue managers and wonderful venues at the Hollywood Fringe. But that does not keep you from finding a coffee shop or a lounge or a vacant retail, a store to do a show in as well. So if that's something you're interested in, and if you find the right space, you can contact us and we'll let you know what the requirements are. The basic requirement is you need to have insurance on the space. That's about it.
I'll add, depending on what's needed, our space, half the chairs, half the seats are movable. So like 18 seats are fixed, but the rest are movable and the platforms are. So depending on what's needed, it might be something that could be accommodated. I don't know if we can fit 18 seats in whatever. But the other thing I'll say though is in our building, we look like we're the same building as the complex, but it's actually two different buildings. So upstairs from us, we're the only, I think, theater space type thing in there. Everything else are mostly like photography studios and stuff like that. They rent all the time. They're not looking to rent for this type of thing, so they're not listed as a Fringe venue, but they might very well do so. And that's just a big, open, huge space.
Expensive, but I'm sure.
Expensive, but you know what? They actually, though, I know like at least the two loft spaces upstairs, he might actually totally do a deal. We just had we have a nonprofit and we had a fundraiser and they were really, really kind to us. And he likes the Fringe and likes that kind of stuff. So I'd be happy to like give you that information.
Julian Trevor?
No, Peter Douglas.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
And Peter's a really cool guy and whatever, so it's a possibility.
There's actually a lot of spaces in that area. My wife did her art piece in that area, which was a photography studio 3 years ago. So, I mean, if you can just walk up and down right here and try to find a space that could work for that.
And how much does insurance usually cost? Because last year I tried to find a way to register like a space with insurance, but the cheapest I could find online was like $3,000 for the month or something.
Ooh,
That's
no.
usually-
That's not like.
I think it's $400 or $600.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you
Okay.
talking
Those-
you're
those
talking
are
about
more
general
than that.
liability, right?
More than that? I think it's more than that?
You might wanna
For a run?
contact Plays 411.
Contact us at support, and we'll throw you support@hollywoodfringe.org, and we'll throw you some insurance vendors we've worked with in the past that are familiar with us.
3,000 seems high.
That's
I
very
think
high.
1,500
I like
might be, more what you could find, but.
And I know somebody last year that got it was
Beginning.
six performances, and I think it was $500 because it was a special event insurance, and so they do it per date and time basically.
We thought about possibly like going in like a gallery, like being part of a gallery maybe, you know, like, cause sometimes you want it to be a center, like with the chairs in the center, like those are generally just a big open space, and we could maybe work with them, like,
Churches, rec centers.
What about the
there's
Dragonfly?
Places like that around here.
I don't know, the
Dragonfly.
The Dragonfly.
Perhaps.
What other?
Oh, there's Black. Black the bar club from the lounge. They've got a cool little back outside
patio,
area patio that's kind of cool. It's pretty open. I don't know. It's again another open space.
Yes.
My name is Lee Curran, and my show is Whitewater Falls, and I'm at the east in the complex. I have a question that's unrelated to venue. Can I ask it, or do you want me to check with you afterwards?
Are you guys okay if she asks them?
Okay,
That's
Lee.
fine.
Pester. I want to know what to put on the postcard, because there's no reservations, and so how do people pay for their tickets? I know through the site, but what do I actually write?
Okay. If you go to the website, and you there's at the upper right hand corner there's an about link, and then there's an article called All About Ticketing. I think it's called All About Ticketing.
Okay.
And in that, we give you a phone number that you can put on your postcards if you like.
Okay.
But
does that go?
that goes to us.
The Fringe.
Yeah, it goes to us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's just for ticketing. It's not for participant support and stuff like that. But the 98% of the tickets are bought online, and for that, you give the URL directly to your show, to your project.
Okay.
And then each show also has a short URL, so it's not hollywoodfringe.org/projects/3000.
Right.
It's hff15.org/member. So if you actually go on your project page,
Right.
The shortened link will be there, and we suggest to add that because it doesn't take
Okay,
much
so
space.
after .org comes your URL?
It comes with / and then a number.
Oh, / and then with the URL from my site.
Yep, and then a number, so it'll be HFF.
It's like a 4-digit number.
Yeah, it's like a 4-digit number.
4-digit number.
Yep.
But in general, if you just want to promote your stuff now, just hollywoodfringe.org, they'll get to the right place and they can find your show on the
That's
site.
true.
So it doesn't have to be that specific.
A lot of people do that.
You don't just need to print a
You
long
just put,
thing.
hollywoodfringe.org if you like.
you just put.
But I will
But
say
it wouldn't be
that.
reservations, it would be for information then.
Oh, well,
That would just be on your card, you just say for information, hollywoodfringe.org.
or you can say for tickets, hff16.org / your number. That's where they'll be tickets.
Okay.
And May 1st, the
I
tickets go on
want-
sale?
May 1st, the tickets.
HFF15.
HFF15. Excuse me, thank you. HFF15.
Something going off what you just said.
Then your number. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to say something. He was talking about, yes, you can have hollywoodfringe.org as just the URL that you want people to go to, but as far as getting audiences into your show, it's much better to have it as least amount of work that they have to do as possible. So if it takes you right to your ticket page and they see a button that says buy tickets, that's so much better than having them have to search for the name and then find it in a list of things that kind of seem like that name, and then click on that, then find your page. Just the least amount of clicks that they have to go do, the better.
I agree with that, and I'll raise you. It's good for the whole community to just start putting things out there now that says hollywoodfringe.org. Whenever you're ready, it's not a little early for that, because you also want them to find other stuff, and some people will find your show by looking at someone else's.
I agree with that.
You help each other out by just putting that out there in general.
And you can have a shortened URL just to the Fringe site, which just would be hff15.org. No slash. I mean, throw it out. Do what you want, but that's only 7 characters. We have a winner.
Other questions?
Just a quick, is
Follow-up?
there like a buy tickets button already on my page?
No,
Is that
May
it?
1st. May 1st.
May 1st,
May
okay.
Yes, so who's had the longest running question? Well, you seem enthusiastic. So
I'm enthusiastic.
Yes, let's go.
Cool. Hi, I'm Kent. I'm doing like a 3-man physical theater piece. I don't know how to describe it yet. I'm working on that. But my question for you guys is, just because I hadn't heard of this, the ensemble series thing, or not the encore series, is that like something we'd have to, if we're invited to that, how long is that run, and do we have to pay for the amenities and space to do that?
We'll have more information about
More
it,
information
not to
later.
clutter the airways. But basically, it's not paid, it's a co-pro situation. Each venue will pick the shows, and we'll have it sign up and get the whole system closer to Fringe.
And they run July.
And they run
July.
yes,
For all July or like the first half of July?
It depends on venue, and some shows, like we ran women and meet and greet for 4 months each.
Cool.
Yeah,
So
some
depending,
shows can go past
any
July.
producer, several of us are producers as well, and we can pick shows to extend.
We still have a show, we have a show coming back next month
Yep.
from last year's spring.
Oh, wow. Oh.
So, yeah, Boss.
Good flexible. All right.
Boss, the untold Tony Danza
Oh, that's Tony
story.
Danza.
Love that.
Cool. Thank you.
Other questions? Yes.
Yeah, we're both good. Yeah. Steve Troop and Eric Patulski. We're doing Alien versus Musical. And I was wondering about the guide, if it's a color or black and white.
Color.
Okay, that's my part of it.
I had a two-part question about what we have to provide aside from a lot of what you said. You provide a stage manager, and you mentioned house manager, and some of you said that you provide your own people, like interns or people who work like concessions or at the ticket, but we still need to provide a house manager. Is that most just to have someone that
At my venue, you should.
Yeah.
But if you get in trouble, we can back you up.
Okay.
I think regardless, it's probably a good idea to have someone who knows your show representing you front of house,
Yeah.
whether or not the venue is providing that.
Okay,
service.
I was just wondering.
Every show is different. Some shows, it's the producer that's the house manager who's just wrangling things, but sometimes the producer is the actor. So if the producer's the actor, then you might want to have someone else that's getting things together so the actor can focus on the performance.
Collect the money and to, if press come, you want a direct person who knows your show.
That's good. And then as far as just to clarify for this process when doing Tech Week, I'm used to doing like Tech Weeks when you have a show blocked out and everything, and now because there's going to be like up to 70 or 80 shows per venue, in that Tech Week, does that happen the week prior to like the first show, or is that
good question?
Yeah, I think probably we all do it a little differently. I can speak for us, and that we schedule it when it's best for you and your cast and when the space is available. So we start doing that a week before preview week into preview week. Some people don't come in till the second week because they're coming from New York or somewhere else, so we're teching there. Some people have to tech the day of their show because they're coming from out of state, or so it just when it's good for you and you're available, stage manager's available, space is available. We'll
You can
tech
also-
And tell us as soon as possible.
And you can
Yeah.
also always purchase additional time. I mean, I have had shows
Absolutely.
that start rehearsing in May in my
Yeah.
space, and I have a full rehearsal schedule.
Same
I
here.
mean, if you have the budget and that's what you wanna do, you can do that. You know, if you just wanna pick up a little bit extra, then you can do that too.
Yeah,
Or just go with what it is.
I just say for a timeline for us, we do, right after registration closes and all that, we've locked everybody in, we get your schedules and conflicts, and assign you by that, mid-April, your tech date, so you have advance notice of what's going on. It usually is a couple days before, day of, depending on the schedule. And like Lauren said, we include 2 free hours as well for tech, but we have groups asking for an extra hour to an extra 25 hours.
Wow.
So again, it's talking to us ahead of time, so we're aware of it when we're planning our schedules.
Mark Wasserman, I have a working title of Thrilling Love. This is a question for everyone. Does anybody have access to a stripper pole?
Oh, there was one. Wasn't there one of those?
I'm using it for personal.
Okay, you took it. This is Aaron Lyons, by the way, our TD here in this space, so the people hear it. Wow!
Aaron was
Finish the show next door.
Yeah. Hope shakes.
I have, you're the second one that's come to me, I don't know, about a stripper pole this year, so maybe we'll have to get one.
Let us know.
I think that that would be something interesting to have to figure out a way to install and uninstall and still make it safe.
You can rent.
I think.
Yeah, no, I just thought maybe you guys might have access or a deal.
Yeah, those days are done.
Yes, that's so.
Hi, I'm Marie, and I have a cabaret that kind of rhymes. And I've worked with Lauren before, and I have questions for you. If it's the format I have that I've done before at Second City is 3 musical sketches with a solid cast, but then we bring in acts for the cabaret for each different acts each of the 5 nights. Is that problematic that we don't have the same cast
No,
throughout?
as long as the tech can be the same.
Yeah.
As long as you don't have to like retech each 5 times.
Yeah. Yeah, they're usually more stand-up-y, more solo
Yeah,
artists.
then that's
so that
fine, then
means-
it's just.
Very cool, love to talk. I have an idea. An idea for us.
Any other questions? Yes.
Just what's the dates for preview week? Because I know like the dates of the Fringe, but I forget what the dates of the actual.
4th through the 10th? Or not 10th?
Not 10th and
9th.
9th.
4th
It
through
may
the
be
9th.
the 3rd through the 9th.
4th through the 9th.
Yeah, a different question. I know you were just promoting the idea of finding venues that aren't necessarily used normally.
Yep.
But is the issue of getting chairs in there a problem generally? Or?
One thing you can do is you can contact your city councilor's office, and theoretically they do provide free rentals of chairs.
But usually for one time.
Usually for a one-time thing. So.
But you can usually get chairs for like $1.
Yeah, you can.
I do a show per chair.
Is
With
it
a strip pole too.
Yeah.
a big hassle?
Maybe the council's
idea of
office
bringing
is
chairs?
part of
Did-
that.
do they have
As long as you
Yeah.
can do it in the time allotted to you, then yeah, but sure, carrying chairs is a hassle.
I guess.
I want to clarify, did you say the 3rd or 4th?
I said the 4th.
Okay, the 4th is Thursday, right? There's
Yeah.
nothing for
Correct. I have one question for all of you. If there's no other questions, it's just
Ben?
these folks see. Thank you. Thank you. These folks see the Fringe from a particular angle, and I'm curious, based on your experience, what are the successful habits of participants you've seen that they've gone on to a successful
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Socialize.
Yeah.
Socialize, definitely.
Engage with people in your venue and at Fringe Central.
See
Yeah.
shows, see shows, see shows.
Yeah.
No Fringe show is an island.
Wow. Go to Fringe Central. It's fun, cheap drinks.
Yeah.
Pass out the
Invite
snacks.
your audience to go to Fringe Central and meet you
Yes.
there after
Yeah.
the show so that everyone can hear them talking about how
Buzz.
fantastic you were
Buzz.
in front of everyone else that's there looking for shows to go see.
You'll see people too during the panels that are Fringe veterans, which include many of us up here too. Get us to see shows. Get us to talk about them. The people that see a lot of shows also tend to talk about a lot of shows. So find those people to see them.
Oh, and be sure to remind people, pre-show or post-show to go onto the Hollywood Fringe site and review your show
And see other shows.
and see other shows. Yes.
Also shows that we saw a lot of action on Twitter feed.
Twitter's great.
Especially now early when we're waiting, ramping up. People start to get known. You start to identify people, and that's a lot of it. Show up to all these meetings.
Yeah, the workshops and the
Get
town
be
halls.
seen. Mr.
Build relationships early and often.
Build those
I mean,
friendships. Yep.
Some of the best assets you have are the other Fringe shows.
And
You know,
look-
shows that don't partner up with other shows and talk about each other to their collective audiences are making a huge mistake.
ABS, always be schmoozing.
And also do it as the next step, the next step beyond this. I mean, a lot of you, it's not only just doing the show, it's you're making those connections for next year, somebody who could direct with you, another writer, actors. What's amazing every year with Fringe, you start seeing these people who you know kind of teaming up in different ways. And that's really exciting, so take advantage of that.
Well, and before your show even opens, what Ezra was saying about the professionalism thing is unlike a normal theatrical run, your preview is when your press is coming. Your preview is when gossip can start about your show. So you have to take that preview very seriously. You have to be rehearsed. Your actors have to know what the hell's going on. Your tech has to know what's going on.
Yep.
That preview is really your opening night. And the more solid a show that you're putting together on that preview, the more likely you're going to get the good gossip going ahead of time, the good buzz.
I will say also, don't rely on just friends and family to fill out your audiences, because friends and family are the first people that are going to flake on you because they know they're forgiven if they don't show up. So focus on strangers. Get strangers. If you give a show about animal rights or something like that, go to pet stores and say, can I leave some flyers here and that kind of thing, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you just focus on strangers is a general thing, yeah.
Pet adoptions.
Any parting words?